Hi guys, it's your boy Jude MDD here. I haven't said that in a while actually. I don't think I've said that. Yeah, I've not said that in 2 months. The reason why I've been uploading is because I've had no idea. I've had no idea what to upload about. Like, literally, I've had no ideas on what to upload about. So I didn't really want to upload for a while anyway. I want to sort of take a break. But yeah, I'm back with a new video. And today we're going to talk about Chris from MrBeast. Now, this has been a big topic for about a month. For the past month, this has been a massive topic. And basically, Chris from MrBeast is on the verge of getting fired for wanting to be a woman. Now, I don't care what you want to be. If you wanted to be a fucking sea turtle, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't actually give two fucks, whatever you like. If you got identified as a fucking condom, I wouldn't give a shit. Alright, just don't shove it into my face like it's a fucking mascot. Because that's when I give a shit, okay? That's when I start to, you know. Sunny V2 video, let's look at one of these.
Impact the MrBeast channel. In mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck loving dude.
It's just why would you, I don't understand, why would you like have a wife and kids but leave them to be a woman? Like, I don't get that. Like, if you wanted to be a woman, why do you have a wife and why did you have a wife and kids? I just like that's just it just seems strange to me. Like,
Yet beginning in March 2022, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits, making tweets such as "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would highlight that his facial appearance had changed.
Now that is just fucking weird. Like, that's just creepy. I'm not even trying to diss him. That is creepy, that face right there.
Significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs..."
Fucking hell, it looks skinnier. Why does he look skinnier? Like, I'm not, like, why is his face, how is that, what the, bro, he looks like a completely different person in that photo, but compared to this one, he looks, what even happened here? Like, that is not the same person. I can't believe that's the same. If them two people were like standing next to each other, like just standing in a room together, and I looked at both of them, I would not think that's the same person. Like, I'm being completely serious here. That is not the same person.
I had to prove I was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance? Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better." Yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his MrBeast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2020,
I don't get any of this. It's just confusing. Like, how was this? Like, he must have like had to get inspired by something to do this, because
23, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother." Okay, so some people just
what? Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother. Wait, what? What? I don't know. I don't know.
Ignore Chris's nails. Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild. The response to the video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him.
Yeah, I've heard about this. People call it the Carl effect. Yeah, that's what people call it. The Carl effect. Which sort of makes sense because Carl's like sort of like that, but it might not exactly be his fault. Again, gay.
Now, this was pretty ridiculous as Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to—
Yeah, why did he leave a wife and kids to have a tits and
have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence
No, oh my god.
correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end. Chris went from lighting campfires and raising
Imagine telling your wife that. Imagine divorce. Imagine wanting to break up your wife and just saying to her, "Oh, I'm leaving you to be a woman. I don't want to associate with you anymore. I want to be a woman. All right? You can do your thing. You can look after your son, and I'm gonna leave and go be a woman." That it just doesn't make sense. Like, oh my god.
A family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long nails. As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his former self,
He looks completely different. Like, what even happened? His jawline is different and everything.
he'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image, showing up to
No, that is just fucked up. I'm not even. I know I'm not being like fucking whatever you call it. Something. I don't even know. There's so many phobics from. But yeah, I'm not like discriminating any of this. Like, I couldn't give a fuck if you were like what you wanted to be. Just don't shove it. As I said earlier, I don't give a fuck what you want to like. If you don't want to be human or anything, I don't really care. Just don't start shoving it in my face. Like, yeah, but that is just. That needs a little commentary right there. That means more commentary than it already has.
the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing genders. Chris would expand on this by stating, "Informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies," which received a positive response.
It's just, I don't get it. I just imagine how his kid felt, man. Like, imagine growing up and knowing that your dad left you to be a woman. That is just like that. He has to grow up knowing that. He has to grow up every day knowing that.
From both Carl and MrBeast, who wrote, "Got you, I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend." While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to.
That's, I mean, yeah, that basically.
Hard times create strong men create good times create.
He's never gonna have a father figure. He's never gonna have anything like that because his dad is a woman. All right. That basically, yeah.
Weak men and weak men create hard times. Weak man times. Chris responded to this comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. I know I'm going to be."
I think your child's gonna question this one day. His child's gonna question this one day. He's gonna question everything that's going on. He's gonna question why his dad left him to have a vagina. Alright, I can't believe it. Just wait. Well, yeah. I've just said it. But yeah, that like, he really just, like, this needs some more explaining. Like, really does.
Be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. Chris's response.
It's Tucker his son then? I'm just assuming it's his son. But how is it for him? He's not gonna. This is gonna be so confusing for his child.
Received some positivity such as, "I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life, as well as I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria."
Why would you? It's just like how. Why would you go and have a wife and kids, but then wanting to become a woman? Like, it's just like don't women like men? Well, I'm not saying. Oh, actually no. That was no. All right. I'm assuming he likes men, right? Like he's gonna like men. I'm assuming that, right? So like.
Yet he'd also receive an equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic. He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house. A life full of difference and being alone. Must have missed the point.
Yes, he's gonna, as I said about 3 times already, his son's gonna question this one day. Alright, there's not really one day in his life he's gonna question everything.
In that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure? Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from MrBeast as well as Nolan and Carl.
Even YouTube's saying it.
However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing
30 followers.
that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life." In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation is
they don't sort of have to support him, because if they don't, they'd be seen as like the villains.
Already begun to change the dynamic within the videos. For example, in a recent livestream titled "Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes," Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it.
Like clips of that stream, like people looked so uncomfortable around him. Like he was just sitting there, and people were just like, he was saying weird stuff.
Normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company.
Imagine this being your friend, man. Imagine like people, they probably had to go up with this fucker, like, and then they have to see him like this.
Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, that you can't just push that in his face. You can't just. If he wants to be male, the rest of the people here want to be male. You can't just shove things like that in their face. Like, they want to be that, and you're trying to make them not that. So.
Oh my God, Jimmy! Look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
He actually did look sad, didn't it?
It's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, MrBeast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid.
Yeah, I mean, that was. Yeah, because he weren't wearing a shirt.
Of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views.
Man, what the that like. You can just tell that's a man. Like, it's not. Oh.
Worth of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going to happen? Well, maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him—
It's just ruining it's just ruining who he was. People probably people probably adored him. People probably looked up to him, and now they see him as this. He's ruining his life basically with this whole thing. And if he does want to be female or anything, like, again, like I know this is off topic, but I see so many people identifying like the shit, like non-binary and shit. Like, please just. I don't give a shit what you identify as. Just don't start shoving it in my face and use it as a mascot, because it's just annoying. Like, if I went around saying I'm a straight male, would you like, oh oh, congratulations. No. So, yeah.
Him a successful member in the first place. Perhaps the opposite will happen, and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris, who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any.
Like, this fucking, like, this whole just fucking, this day and age is just messed up. Like, kids are going to grow up nowadays thinking there's 72 genders. I don't know, they're probably, I mean, not the number, but the kids are going to grow up nowadays thinking there's 72 genders, and they're going to copy that. They're going to take advantage of that. They're gonna, obviously, because kids are kids, they're going to take after that. And we're going to have a kid nowadays going around saying, oh, I identify as a fucking jellyfish. Is that fucking, like, does anyone actually... Like, it's just stupid. Like, I get it. If you identify as, if you don't feel comfortable in either gender, that's understandable. Okay, fucking keep that to yourself. Don't use it as a mascot. As I said so many times already. I know I've said this so many times, but yeah.
Any value to the videos. MrBeast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway, and if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video. On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although as
MrBeast board, that's kind of
as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion.
He looks unhappy. You can just tell, like, by his face, you can tell he's unhappy.
Which could be seen as a benefit for the MrBeast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
So
base
you're
if
a
I got
Keemstar?
it.
The problem is this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy.
I mean, obviously, if you're his friend, you're going to support him, obviously. You're not going to stop being friends with him, because, obviously, if he wants to be that, if he wants to be something... like, as long as he's just not a fucking, I'm not even, like, if he's not a fucking weirdo, if he's not like a, I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, as long as he's not a, you know what, like a, as long as he's not a little, alright, just forget about it.
It's a lose-lose situation for MrBeast. I think Jimmy is in an inescapable situation. If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real. An inescapable situation is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it deserves the harsh label of being a nightmare. Jimmy has no option but to publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition as
Yeah, because I just, like, why, like, because, again, like with that earlier clip, you can't just, he's trying to make other people what he is, and you can't just shove that in people's faces. Like, let people be who they want to be. Yeah, just let people who...
as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious severe repercussions. However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos.
People are gonna start watching.
If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in
I think he should obviously support him, like, that's what friends are, but...
any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
Well, that was it.
The Chris Tyson situation.
Oh. Is this the same video? Yeah, I think it's the same video. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want, and
What's up, guys? It's the Spider Fan YT here today. And someone just bought a cameo. Subscribe to Mr. Dibadab. Yeah, subscribe to Mr. Dibadab. He makes vlogs, skits, so what's that? Commentary. Yeah, thanks for buying a cameo, Mr. Dibadab. Really love your videos. I've never checked them out, but I'm pretty sure they're great. Commentary videos. Yeah, Mr. Dibdab. Make sure to buy more of my cameos and subscribe to my channel, the Spider Fan IT, which I think is far superior than this Mr. Dibdab. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to Mr. Dibdab. I bet you he makes funny commentary videos. And yeah, it's the Spider Fan YT going out.